Is this team in your mind better than it was when last season ended?
When last season ended, yeah. I still think I'm really curious to see. It's such a weird thing to talk about, like the stuff you can't really put an actual measure on. But the Marcus Smart effect, I'm still going to be fascinated by. I just don't know. They're more talented, yes, but he was so important to like the fabric of this franchise. The way obviously the things you saw, he's an incredible defender. He didn't get enough credit for his offensive game. People looked at his, 3-point percentage not being tremendous, but he was the general of that offense that almost won a title. And he was the guy like that kind of guys looked up, like when things went wrong, he was the voice. When other teams pushed them around, he was the one stepping up. And that's a significant loss, I think. They might not need it. Who knows? Like I said, some of those things are intangibles. You don't really know how important they are, but I'm really curious to see what it looks like without him. Several people told me part of the reason that they made this move, they think it's time for Jason and Jalen to kind of step into that role now, and this will force them to do that a little bit.
I want to piggyback off that because I am actually curious, Adam, because you might know some things that we don't know. I think part of the reason why they might have pushed for Jrue so much is he's kind of, if you're going to replace Marcus Smart with anybody in the league, Jrue's probably on the short list of guys that you would say, yeah, that he can do a lot of what Marcus did. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking teammate in the locker room, play on the court offensively and defensively. And then like Marcus was a big part of the community off the court too, which I think is also important to the fabric of Marcus Smart. So my question for you, Adam, kind of revolves around trading through Jrue Holiday. Maybe you know some things we don't know. Obviously the deal went through. Everybody's thrilled. Again, the vibes are immaculate. Brad is talking about how he asked Danny Ainge for years, hey, can we get Jrue Holiday on this team? Like, can we make this happen? Do you feel like that maybe there was like, we're not being outbid for Jrue Holiday on this one. We're ending up with Jrue, almost regardless of the price, because they wanted to maybe fill that Marcus Smart role, and how well Jrue kind of seamlessly fits this team. Do you sense any of that?
Yeah, I mean, you never say like, we'll pay whatever the price is. Like, obviously there's always a limit, and I was told initially the asking price was extreme, not just to the Celtics, but to other teams around the league. We're talking like 4 or 5 first-round picks or swaps and things like that. But that's how those negotiations start. That's not that unusual. And then you talk a little bit and say, okay, let's get down to brass tacks. But they wanted him. Like, I know I have this reputation as like the cooler on Celtics deals that's like formed over the years, and people get mad like, oh, you always bring bad news. I'm like, it's not like, I'm just telling you what's happening. Like, I'm not intentionally being like, oh, I don't want this to happen or this isn't going to happen. Like, I'm saying like, hey, I found out this is not going to happen. This one felt different from the moment, I guess, right after the Lillard trade went down. Speaking to people, it wasn't that like, yeah, we'll see. It was, yeah, we want this guy. It just sounded different. It felt different. And as the week progressed, none of that changed.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
And Evan, to your point, those Marcus Smart questions, without question, become a lot easier to figure out now that Jrue's here. Because as a player, he feels he's a better offensive player than Marcus. Defensively, you can make an argument. But off the court stuff he's like you said, he's active in the community. Everyone talks about this guy as like a great guy. I've never spoken to people about a player and heard such a unanimous, like, this guy's an incredible person, incredible teammate. So no doubt he feels part of that.
Talking to people around the team and who covered the team, it's sort of, I don't know if you would agree with this on your own personal level, but dealing away Marcus Smart, Grant Williams, Rob Williams, those three in particular, no disrespect to Malcolm Brogdon, but guys who had obviously been around for a while at multiple deep playoff runs, really core pieces of what this team has been looking to achieve in winning Banner 18, felt like there's a lot of, oh man, it hurts to lose these three guys all in the same offseason, but it's been sort of emphasized more in a personal way. Like, these are all good guys and great personalities, people that you like talking to, great community guy, great, all of that stuff gets mentioned before basketball. And that's not to, de-emphasize their impact on the floor, especially Marcus's or Rob when he's healthy. But I feel like there was a lot of, we're really going to miss these guys as people more than their basketball fit. Whereas Kristaps Porzingis coming in and Jrue Holiday coming in, there's just been a transformation in terms of, wow, we can do a lot of different things we couldn't do before. Bringing these guys in, we believe that we are just, it hurts to lose those guys on a personal level, but on a basketball level, we are just better and more equipped now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's part of being a fan, right? The people become, and that's what this is, people become attached to players. Marcus Smart has been here longer than anyone, and he kind of fit this city with his style and just the way he played and the way he approached things. And he embraced that. And when you lose like that, people are going to be upset. That's not to say the changes aren't better, like whatever. Sometimes, let's say you start a new job. There's parts you're like, I missed this and this, but I'm in a better situation. This situation is actually better. Like, it's okay to have both in the same conversation. So I think bringing in these guys, they're going to play differently. Joe Mazzulla has emphasized that a lot this past week. He goes, look, we're going to play to our personnel. We're going to restructure things a little bit. We have now a 7'3" big guy who can hit threes. We didn't have that last year. Now we have a guy in Jrue who people talk about, not just him as a defender, which everybody knows, but a lot of people have talked over and over about his strength, just like his ability to just be physical with players no matter who they are. I talked to Charles Lee about him. He goes, man, Milwaukee, he's on Steph Curry 1 minute and Julius Randle the next. Not a lot of guys can do that, but he has the physical traits to do it. So I think Mazzulla is really looking forward to figuring things out. And, I think that's what maybe the first month might be a little, not rocky, but they're definitely going to be experimenting and trying to find what works with this team moving forward, because there are going to be some significant changes in the way they play.
With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Head to factormeals.com/newsfeed50 and use code newsfeed50 to get 50% off. That's code newsfeed50 at factormeals.com/newsfeed50 to get 50% off.